Are we pregnant? Well, not me. Oh. Hey y'all, it's Shelby with North Country Off Grid, and today I have my warnings for you if you're thinking about going and living on a homestead. Here we go. My baby, how sweet is she? Do it again. Do it again. Oh, my sweet girl. I have the best cow ever. She's super duper pregnant and she's gonna have a baby very soon, so we're watching her, and I want to be bringing you guys out for more frequent updates on her because she should be giving us our very first cow on North Country Off Grid Farm very, very soon. So we are super excited. It's getting big. It's getting big. We are getting ready to sell our second homestead. So with that, I feel like I'm pretty qualified to be able to give you guys some warnings on what not to do. Take them or leave them. This is definitely from our experience, but here we go. My very first suggestion to you guys would be to not get animals right away. I say that because when I think about when we moved to our first homestead, we went there with chickens. We did have baby chicks with us, but we built them a little chicken coop to live in. And so that was really easy and convenient to be able to have a home for them as soon as we got there. But then we just had chickens for a while and it was super easy. We got ourselves set up, and then once we were really set up, then we added more animals. With this homestead, we moved here and right away we had lots of animals. So it was like a rush to figure out where we were gonna put them, make sure that they were put up well, had good feed, had water. It was just very hectic to come to this homestead with all of those animals. With those two comparisons, I would definitely say waiting to get some animals for a little while is best. I mean, of course with some moderation, because I think that if you want to be a homesteader, you love animals, and part of your joy of that life, oh, it's cold. And part of your joy of that life is going to be those animals. It's windy and cold out here, so I'm crying. I think that you still have to remind yourself while you're doing it and have some animals, but just kind of keep that in mind that they can be a huge responsibility and they can make things very hectic, because sometimes you can just spend your day running after the animals that have gotten out or fixing the things that they have broken or gotten into, and before you know it, you've spent your entire day doing nothing. So if you could give yourself a little bit of time to get yourself set up and then introduce those animals, I just think that that is the best way to do it. So my next warning, really create a vision of what you want your homestead to look like before you even go and do it. Meaning, do you want to have animals and what kind of animals? And then also really think about why you want those animals. For us, we had so much fun coming from the city and living on a homestead that we just were like, let's get animals. And I really wanted goats. And so we went and got our first goat, and then that led into the next goat. And then those goats had babies. And before you know it, we've got a whole bunch of goats that I really don't do anything with. They're super cute and fun, and they're like a fun spirit to kind of have on the farm with just running around and having a great time. And you definitely can milk them, and if you're wanting to do that and actually think that you're going to make the time to do it, then that's a great purpose for goats. However, with me and my young kiddos and all the animals that we have and work and excuses and life, I'd never milked our goats. I just didn't. So in our next homestead, I do think that I'll have a couple goats for the idea of actually milking and making cheese and milk and everything else with. But having just a better setup to even do that. So meaning that we've got a barn and a place to bring the goat into, and pans that are set up that are ready every single morning, you know, all of those things that just could make the process so much easier. I just want to be better set up with the next homestead. So when you're thinking of the animals that you want to get, really think of what the purpose is of why you would have them on your homestead. So when we go to our next homestead, the first thing that I do want to have there is chickens. And the reason for that is that that's breakfast right away every single morning. So, and super easy to take care of as soon as you have a good coop and system set up for getting their eggs. Chickens are super great. We're gonna wait for quite some time to get pigs, just because we need to have a priority list of how we're gonna start building our next homestead. And that needs to first be go in and clear a driveway, and then clear a spot to bring the RV travel trailer in. and then park that, get that all set up, and then we've got to get going on securing pens and setups for our animals. So we don't want to spend too much time on that part of it, because then we've got to start building our house for our family of now 6. So that needs to be a top priority, and to make that a top priority, we really have to make sure that we're considering all the things that we have to do before we can even get started on building that house. These are some of my tips, warnings, what have you, from our experiences of living on 2 homesteads, and now we are getting ready to go on a road trip to find where we are going to purchase our next property for our 3rd homestead, and hopefully our forever homestead that our children will live on, their children will live on if they choose. So we've got big plans coming. We've learned some big lessons along the way. It's been almost 6 years now of living off-grid on a homestead. So those are my tips and tricks. I'm Shelby with North Country Off Grid. I'm excited to share more with you, and we will definitely keep you posted on Lila.